Howdy there, neighbors, Hydroneers, and all my little gravy babies. Happy Latcha, back again with another Hydroneer video. And today we're going to talk about all the things I wish I would have known before starting Hydroneer. Now, I couldn't have compiled this list without the help from some dedicated Hydroneers on Reddit, and I'm going to put those names up on the screen right now. Alright, now this list includes a lot of great stuff for new players, but also a few things you may not know even if you've been playing for a bit. But before we get started, we're going to take a little break and hear from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Turtle-Seeking Plastic Straws. These bad boys find the nearest turtle nose and zoom! Paid for by PETA. Thanks, sponsor. Alright, now let's jump right into things I wish I knew before starting Hydroneer. Number 1. Bridgeport is like the New York City or LA of the Hydroneer world, or Gatlinburg if you're from where I'm from. It contains a lot of shops you'll need to progress in the game, and for that reason, you'll need to go there a bunch of times during your mining adventure. And from Ember Cradle, that seems like a daunting feat. But what if I told you you could get there faster than my dad made me? Well, you can. If you take a right here, just before the bridge, you can get to the big city in a quarter of the time. Just pop over the riverbank, drive this way across the river, and boom, bang, bam, look at you in the fancy pants town of Bridgeport. Number 2. Like the stuff that you do with your butt. One of the most important structures in your mining adventure is the forge, and it is crucial for progress in the game. Here's some things I wish I knew about it before starting. Now, located in this forge, there are some grates on the ground that some of you may have already discovered. Not the best for walking on. Well, I've got a solution for you. All you gotta do is grab some of those pallets you aren't using, lay them each over the grate in a 2x2 square as you see here, and you can walk back and forth over the grates now without worry. Another cool little tip concerning pallets in the forge is that you can take one, put it on the center of the anvil where the harvesters and drills and boosters get crafted, and when you pull that hammer, it is going to craft those drills, harvesters, boosters directly on the pallet to expedite transportation after the fact. And lastly, in regards to the forge, and this one is less of a tip and more of just a FYI for those of you that might be confused, but you only need to purchase one of each miniature in the shop here, and with that one miniature, you can craft as many items as you like of that variety. Number 3. Starting out, I made jewelry and weapons the only way I thought you could, by heating my bars individually, then trying to balance them carefully on the anvil, hoping to Hydroneer God that the first bar hadn't cooled yet. Little did I know, I had been smithing like a goddamn caveman. You see, I soon discovered that if you heat a single bar first, place it on the anvil, then cut it with the saw, then the subsequent bars will also be heated and ready for processing into necklaces or swords or whatever you want. Now maybe this method is a little too tame for you. Maybe you need a little more chaos. Well, I got some news for you, you absolute psychopath. You see, Hybrid Still's blacksmith soup is perfect for all your baddie blacksmithing needs. The concept is simple, people. Put all your jewels and bars into a pan, throw that sumbitch on a furnace, and then when it's hotter than Jason Momoa making meat pies in Mexico, you throw the pan on the anvil and hammer away. Just make sure to change your recipes in between, or using one pan for jewelry and one pan for weapons. But wait, there's more! One of the best things about this method is that everything you just crafted sticks inside the pan to make for more efficient selling. Number 4. I don't know what you want me to say. This one's pretty self-explanatory, and I can't hold your hand through everything, you fucking baby. I swear, do I have to do every Number 5! Now, you've heard of a big juicy dump truck. But what about a big juicy jump truck? Seriously, who's writing this shit? Was this you, Daryl? Did you put... I was under the impression that we were all professionals here. And then you give me garbage like this. You give me absolute duty trash like this. Big juicy jump truck? Are you fucking... I mean, I'll say it, but... not your best work, buddy. Now this weird yet completely useless trick is done by holding W and spacebar while sitting in your truck. you'll notice the car start to wiggle around in place, and then in a few seconds... And there you have it. 5 things I wish I knew before starting Hydroneer. Now, this is part 1 of a 4-part series just because there are so many things that I, and possibly you, may have been unaware of when starting this game. Before we go, I need to give another huge shout out to those Redditors for all their help with this series, and I will be putting their names back on the screen as we speak. But that's my time today. Thank you all so very much. I've been Happy Latcha, you've been wonderful, and this has been a blast. And as always, tell your mammas and papas you love them, never wipe back to front, and be good to one another because the world needs it. See you in the next one. Hoo-cha! Hit me with that outro.